Well, hey, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time joining us, thanks for stopping by. So today, I thought, great day to talk about just our tropical garden, our region, where we live. We're outside of Houston, Texas. And since we do get into freezing temps, but we also get into really hot temps, how we maintain this tropical garden, what we do, what we don't do, and just to give people tips and ideas. Also, if you don't live in our environment, where you live, just to give you an idea, again, our range, what we do, and what survives and what doesn't in our past. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so just a little background on our yard. What I'll show you today, just to give people an idea, you got about, this is 10 years of our yard. 10 years ago, this yard literally, I think we had a few crepe myrtles and some bushes that we didn't like, and some knockout roses that we eventually pulled out because we just, that's just our personal preference. We didn't like them. They got too leggy. And so with that being said, we've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations on this. And so a few plants for us, if you haven't already by watching the channel, and if you're new, haven't realized that we kind of got a thing for plumerias. So you'll see a lot of those around. However, being that, again, where we live outside of Houston, Texas, we got to put all these plumerias away, as I've mentioned in other videos. So also with a lot of the plants that we have, and the ones we do no longer have, giant birds of paradise. So we've had these in the ground, I'd say, again, probably going on 10 years now. We used to have 4 of them. We now have 3 of them. I used to be that guy that would go and I'd cover everything and I'd wrap everything, and I tried Christmas lights and I did all of that. And if you do that, more power to you. We have so much that I got to the point that I'm done, man. Like, survival of the fittest here. So we stopped doing that. I'll show you a few plants that, like I said, the plumerias go away. These birds of paradise, and again, these are the giant ones, so they don't get the orange and purple flowers. They get the big white ones when they do, which we don't really get them that often because they typically freeze to the ground. And again, in the past, I've tried wrapping them, and again, I'm sure other people do things and it works. Ours die all the way to the ground. A few years back, when we had all that snow, I mean, they still have come back. Again, we had 4, we now have 3. So 1 didn't make it. So again, some of these things we've learned over the years that some don't make it. And then some that people think aren't going to make it have been making it for us. Here's another one on the back. This vine that we see back here that grows everywhere. This is a cross vine. So some places you'll be easier to get them than others. Why I like cross vines, other than the fact that they put off like a beautiful flower multiple times a year, they don't die off. They stay green all winter long. The leaves might get a little darker, and they might do a leaf drop as new ones come out, but they don't drop their leaves completely. They stay green. So this green backdrop stays green all winter long, which for us is great because when all these plants go away, it could look a little desolate if we, once they go away, all the plumerias, that is. So let me move. I'm going to move over and I'm going to show you a few other things that we do. All right. Well, here's another plant that a lot of y'all are probably familiar with. And depending where you live, especially in places like California and others, you are very familiar with it. Bougainvillea. Once again, when it comes to this bougainvilleas, we have 4 of them. Another 4. It's not a trend. I don't know why those 4. We did have 5 of them one time. One didn't make it. But over the years, again, through the snow, through everything we've had, in the beginning, I wrapped these. I did everything I could. I mean, in the end, they still all died. However, they died to the ground. So given time, again, dying to the ground, they still get huge. And we still get plenty of flowers. So that's another thing with this one is, yeah, it died all the way ground. We cut it back to the ground. Matter of fact, even some of the trunk that I left rotted and broke off. And I'm like, ew, it's not going to make it. Sure enough, started popping up. I'm not going to say everyone's going to have the same luck that we've had with them. Other places you probably get deep. Obviously, the north where you get really cold ground. I mean, for us, even though we get a lot of cold, and the one year we had the snow, we typically don't stay cold for multiple months. I'm sure a lot of this stuff that we have, if we were freezing for a week, yeah, probably be done. But since we have a few days here and there, and then the ground warms up, sun comes out, keeps things warm, that's why we get it. Again, just want to give people ideas of what we do and what works for us and for our area. So again, the bougainvilleas, they've done well, almost sometimes too good. If anybody knows, like if you're not careful, these guys will get you. The other thing behind me is the evergreen wisteria. It does great where we live. With that being said, we have had a few harsher winters in our area, harsh winters. So other people are like, oh, that's not bad. But yeah, so in our area, we have had some what we consider harsh winters. So when we've had like the times where it was 14 degrees and it stayed cold for like 3 days, we have had that wisteria freeze back, and I've had to cut it back. But as you've seen, like, I mean, again, I would say 3 years ago I did that. So just to give you an idea of that's how big behind me all of this came back. So off to the next one. All right, on to some other plants that have done well for us, other than our crown jewel, the plumerias that are everywhere. Mexican fan palm. This guy, literally, I think I planted this 4 years ago. So, and it was a little teeny fan palm. It's done well. The first few years, I did wrap the base with towels. All the palms froze off, and they do most of the year. Most years, they all die off. Now that it's gotten bigger, we'll see what happens. Even if they do, I mean, I cut them off and it starts coming back. But yeah, when it was small, I was wrapping it with towels, just the base. Did that help? I don't know, peace of mind for us. The other one, these guys, these windmill palms, although they stay, they don't have a big trunk, they stay small, they'll get tall. Phenomenal. We haven't done a thing to these. I think one year, the first year when they were little, we covered them and then realized we didn't need to cover them. We have not done anything to these. It's been multiple years. They've been through the freezes. They went through our big snow that for us, it's big snow that we got, and they've done fine. No problem with them at all. Again, we've had other plants that didn't do so well. We've had a lot of hibiscus. We have one left. Again, some of those, now those I will say, if I did, when I have wrapped them and covered them, they did great. They might freeze off and die, but they come back. I have one left that again, most of them I stopped doing it. There are a few varieties. Again, I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to give the end all be all. This is just what we've done. So, but yeah, so on to the next things. Ta-da! If you can see me. Quick note on this guy, our bamboo. This is a clumping bamboo. So if anyone goes, oh, bamboo, it's gross. Yeah, clumping bamboo. Not all bamboo runs, just so you know. Again, that's a whole other education on that stuff. But This is another one. I believe this is like a blue bamboo variety. Again, I don't know the actual name. It's just it gets a blue tint to it. Um, this is frozen back all the way to the ground. I got to cut them all off and let it come back. Some varieties are way more tolerant. If I would have known that, again, if I would have researched a little more, I probably would have gone with those. This guy has died back all the way down, comes back, as you see. This year, actually, it made it through, but most years, some of them made it. But yeah, just another one. This guy is done well. It's I put it in the back corner. Again, it's just a backdrop for us. So yeah, there's another option for people. And off to the next. And another thing we've grown, star jasmine. We used to have a bunch of these, cover the whole fence. We had one really good freeze and it did them. Now, a couple have come back. These have taken a while to come back. Now, they're beautiful when they bloom and they smell amazing. However, over there where I had shown that that crossvine, that's where I used to have jasmine. My problem was I had multiple years where when it froze, it died, and I had all that all over the place I had to deal with. And again, I was looking for something that when our plumerias all go away, how can I still keep them green? And sorry about that. Dog just wiggled. How can I keep some green in the yard so we don't just look like desert scape, which not what we're going for, even in the winter. So yeah, so that's why we ended up pulling these. Like we still have a few. Again, they somewhat times they do great, but if you just know anywhere you are that if you're colder than us, so you're gonna have a hard time with these, with the way we do things. Again, like I said, we don't cover or we do any of that. We just let things go. So yeah, again, I love them. I love the way they smell, but that was just our personal preference. So take that for what you want. Just had to stop in the middle of the video and take a picture of this one just because it's such a pretty color and it looks good right now. And also a time to say, if you enjoy my videos, please hit subscribe, like, much appreciated. All right, on to the next. Also real quick, just want to show like the flowers of a crossvine if you're not familiar with them. Now, earlier in the season, the whole vine will be covered with these and bees love them. So again, just want to show that's the crossvine flower. They usually bloom a couple times a year. All right, so once again, my opinion, our opinion, what we do to have a tropical garden where we live outside of Houston, Texas. We can get into the freezing, and as anyone knows, especially if you live around here, we can get really hot. So just our own ideas of how to have a tropical oasis, so to speak, as we've done in our backyard. And anything you see, like I said, we've done all this in 10 years. So it's possible, you can do it. A little trial and error, as I've talked about in this video, of plants to have and plants to not have. But just to give people the confidence and ideas, again, to go do it yourself. So have fun. Use what you can from this and go out and do your own. So until next time, have a great day.